Plates ready? This is Food School, Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Want to feel amazing, love the way you look in the mirror, and perform your absolute best in the gym, at work, and in life? You're definitely in the right place. Food, it's you. It builds every single cell of you. And if there is one thing every human being must master, it's food. Because at the very least, eating, you do it every day, several times a day, every single day. You might as well get good at it. I'm your host, Shurina from Create Yourself That Today, your personal nutritionist and plate watcher, your diet guide and explorer, your fat loss coach and food inspector. And just someone with a lot of passion and obsession and curiosity for healthy food, healthy diets, nutrition, optimized human performance, everything and absolutely anything you put in your grocery shopping cart, your fridge, on your plate, and in your mouth. It's my business. Food School, on a mission to help you eat better daily.
It's the last time I talk about food. It's the last time I talk about food.
Good morning, guys. Welcome again to Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast. Today is Monday, December the 3rd, and it's 29 days till New Year, and you still have time to improve your eating habits, to improve your healthy lifestyle habits, your exercise habits, and reach some really amazing goals. You know, if you do something for 29 days, if you really commit 100% to something for 29 days, you'll be amazed what kind of results you can get. So get after it. You still have a lot of time. And today, to help you to eat better daily and stick with some good, healthy eating habits, we will talk about updated and upgraded food pyramid. Over this weekend, I've been asked a few times about what is the better guidelines for healthy eating. Obviously, food pyramid sucks and it produces sickness, disease, metabolic disease, diseases of lifestyle, and it makes us gain weight. And basically, it's not designed for a human being who is interested in health, in weight loss or weight maintenance, in amazing energy levels, in great performance, mental and physical. Food pyramid just doesn't do it. It's more interested in promoting food industry interests than public health. And the results we see, growing obesity rates, especially among children, and a lot of other diseases of lifestyle like diabetes and heart disease and metabolic disease and so many other things. So today we will talk about updated and upgraded food pyramid, and it's not even food pyramid. It's gonna be plate. Why plate? Why I personally like plate more? Because plate is something we use every day. Plate is something we can really use as a measuring tool or as a tool that helps us to eat better, whereas pyramid is kind of very abstract concept, and how you're going to use pyramid on a daily basis, it's really hard to implement any advice that is represented like a pyramid. Plate is much better. So if you have a plate near you, or if you don't have a plate near you, pause and take a plate. It's going to be easier for you to understand what I'm going to be explaining right now if you have plate right in front of you, and it's going to be easier for you to visualize healthy eating habits based on your plate. So guys, updated plate. Of course, when I talk today about healthy eating, about products and foods, remember that it's always a great idea to eat the freshest foods, food that is local, that is organic. It's not because you're just gonna get much less toxins in your body when you're eating local and organic, but it also because you're gonna get more nutrition, because the more food is processed, the more time the food spends being stored after cooking, No matter how great the conditions are, the less nutrition that food has. So eat your food the freshest, because that's going to give you the most nutrition per calorie, and that's going to help you to eliminate cravings and control your hunger much better, and just stick with any healthy eating much better. So the freshest, local, organic, always the best. So plates ready. Okay, so for every meal, daily meal, if you want to eat healthy, if you want to have good blood sugar and insulin levels control, and that is very important for hunger and cravings and your longevity and your overall health, performance and everything. So if you want to control your blood sugar, insulin again, if you want to have great control of your hunger, if you want to have great energy levels, then you want to have this kind of meal most of your meals. So if you have your plate in front of you, divide this plate into two halves, right, visually. And then half of that plate gonna be vegetables, always. It can be fresh salad, it can be cooked non-starchy vegetables. Here I'm talking about non-starchy vegetables. You can Google non-starchy vegetables and you can find a list. So basically vegetables without starch, no potatoes, no sweet potatoes, peas, carrots, beetroots, they also have starch. So non-starchy vegetables. Even though, like when you eat carrots raw, for example, and if you eat your beetroots raw, I would also consider them non-starchy vegetables. So vegetables, half of your plate, vegetables. Also, you probably want to load up on vegetables a little bit more than half. Probably almost like 2/3 of your plate should be vegetables, and you should eat them first. The order matters, guys. So always start with vegetables, your meal, each and every meal. So eat your veggies first, like your mom or grandma used to say, right? So 2/3 of your plate is vegetables. Then 1/4 of your plate, so if you divide your plate in half and then that half you divide in half, is going to be protein-rich foods. And by protein-rich foods, right now, I mean animal foods. We're going to talk a little bit about plant-based eating later. So 1/4 of your plate is protein-rich food, like chicken breast, like turkey breast, like fatty fish, like eggs. You want to get somewhere around 30 grams of protein per meal. So 30 grams of protein, and it doesn't mean that 30 grams of protein-rich foods, it means that you need to get 30 grams of protein from your foods. And to give you an idea, for example, chicken breast, that is one of the highest foods in protein. Shrimp is kind of also the same. Tuna is very similar. So 150 grams, a little bit less than that, will give you 36 grams of protein. So just 150 grams of that. If you compare it to eggs, for example, then you need to eat about 2 whole eggs, and on top of them, another 5-6 egg whites to get your 30-35 grams of protein. That is good amount of protein per meal. With that, you also usually, unless you're eating chicken breast or tuna, get some healthy fats. But I would also suggest adding some healthy fats, 1-2 tablespoons, depending how much energy you need and how much you train per meal. Or you can add maybe like 10-15 nuts, something like walnuts or almonds or Brazil nuts are amazing. So 1/4 of your meal is fats, 2/3 of your plate of your meal are vegetables, non-starchy vegetables, and then a little bit of fats. And then if this meal happens, if you want to have some kind of dessert, if you're not still satisfied after eating your healthy fats, your vegetables, and your protein, then you might add handful of starchy vegetables or starchy grains like rice, for example, or maybe quinoa or sweet potato or maybe some cooked carrots or peas or beetroots that also have a lot of starch. So basically, look again at your plate right now. So for everyday meal, you want to fill that with 2/3 of your plate. 2/3 of your plate are your non-starchy vegetables, that 1/4 of your plate, or something that will give you around 30 grams of protein. And guys, Google it. It's really easy to understand how much of food you need to get your 30 grams of protein once you Google it. Really easy. So don't be lazy. Your health depends on it. And then small part, like 1/4 probably of your plate, you want to have of your fats if they're in whole foods. So for example, you might have 1/4 of avocado, maybe 10 nuts, maybe 1 or 2 spoons of olive oil or coconut oil or other healthy fats. And that's going to be your meal. If you want to have your starchy vegetables, if you want to have your fruit as a dessert, have them last and have like a handful of that. But that's going to be in addition to your meal, your plate that is filled with vegetables and protein and healthy fats. And before each meal, of course, I recommend to drink water to make sure that you get enough water during the day. 1/2 liter of water before each meal and 1/2 liter every morning, and at least you're gonna cover your basics. And as some additional guidelines, guys, eat slowly till you're probably around 80% full. Save the starchy carbohydrates and your fruit for the dessert, or especially it's good to have them in your after workout meal or in the first part of the day. Choose mostly whole foods, of course, cooked in a healthy way. And as I said, organic, local, best quality as much as possible. So this is for your everyday meal. So again, take your plate, repetition is the mother of skill. So on your plate, 2/3 your non-starchy vegetables, fresh or cooked. You want to have 1/4 of your plate 1/4 of your plate filled with protein-rich foods, and here we're talking about animal foods like chicken breast or some fish or some meat, red meat, and then half of that 1/4 or 1/8 here you're gonna fill with your either whole food fat sources like 1/4 of avocado, 10 nuts, or a couple of spoons of healthy oil, 1 or 2 spoons, and that's it. And if you feel like you need a little bit more food, you need to have 1 handful of starchy vegetables, whole, cooked in a healthy way, unprocessed, or things like rice or quinoa or amaranth or other full of nutrients, grains, and it's better to avoid gluten. It's just better for your digestive health, as all these studies show. So if this meal happens to be after your workout, then I'd suggest you, again, imagine your plate. Half of your plate should be vegetables, and in that meal, it's the best time to have a handful of your starch or of your fruit for desserts. But again, half of your plate is filled with vegetables. Half of your plate, so that meal should probably be richer in protein if you do weight training, if you do training every single day, and if you need a little bit more protein to recover and to rebuild your muscle tissue. So protein. Fill half of your plate with protein-rich food, and in that meal, after workout meal, especially if it's weight training or resistance training, so around 60 grams of protein. So basically, you want to double the amount that you have for your anytime meal, if that meal doesn't happen after your workout. So again, look at your plate right now. Half of that plate should be vegetables after your workout, non-starchy vegetables. Half of that plate should be protein, around 60 grams of protein. And then again, handful or even a couple, if that was really hard workout, of starchy food like potatoes or quinoa or rice, and then maybe a little bit of fruit. And then, of course, that protein part should have some healthy fats. You might add again a little bit of healthy fats to your meal, of course. So to recap this to repeat. Post-workout meal will be different from our regular meal by the amount of protein, so it's going to be double the amount. So half of your plate, 60 gram of protein you need to get from your protein rich foods, and then handful of your starch or your fruit, and of course a little bit of healthy fats. Try to have that every single meal. Now we will talk specifically about plant-based eating, or eating no animal protein, no animal foods for one of your meals for everyone, or one of your meals if you're a vegan. If you're a vegetarian, it's a little bit easier because you can have dairy products if you tolerate them, unprocessed, without sugar, of course, without any harmful additives. And then you can also probably need to eat more starchy foods like legumes or beans, or a little bit more nuts, because those are the richest plant sources, whole food plant sources of protein. So for plant-based eaters, again, look at your plate if you are vegan, vegetarian, or just want to have some of your meals plant-based. Half of that meal, again, should be non-starchy vegetables. 1/4 of your plate should have foods that are richer in plant proteins, and those are beans, legumes, some nuts and seeds like peanuts. Just make sure that you don't have any allergies or some autoimmune conditions triggered by those foods, because beans, legumes, nuts like peanuts that are not actually nuts have a lot of anti-nutrients that can cause some allergic reactions and some autoimmune reactions. But 1/4 of your plate should be filled. Also, you can of course use good quality fermented soy products like tofu or tempeh or natto or miso. Those foods also are high in protein, probably the highest in plant kingdom, but you need to make sure that you get a fermented soy product, because otherwise they cause more digestive and health disasters than give you any health benefits. So 1/4 of your plate, your plant-based eaters should be filled with plant sources of proteins. And for you, and then the other 1/4 of your plate should be filled with maybe a little bit of fruit, maybe some more starchy food like potato or beans, maybe, and then of course 1/8 should be some healthy fats, some nuts, some avocados. And the only thing that I have, issue that I have with plant-based eating, is that usually you will have to end up eating more starch and more carbohydrates. So just understand this, that it's harder to get more protein from plant-based whole foods without getting some starch and carbohydrates in. So maybe try to add a little bit more nuts instead of starch. So plant-based eaters, half or even 2/3 of your plate should be filled with veggies, non-starchy vegetables, and then add 1/8 or 1-2 tablespoons of some healthy oils and fats, maybe some nuts, 10 nuts per meal or so, maybe 1/4 of avocado, and then it's some 1/4 of your plate, approximately something that will give you at least 25 grams of protein. Guys, it's hard to get all the protein from plant-based foods, but at least 20-25 grams of protein per meal you need to get. Again, nuts, legumes, fermented soy products, and then maybe potato, maybe a piece of fruit. But if you're eating it every meal, just make sure that it's a piece, basically something that will fit in your handful. So this is when it comes to plant-based eating. And that's about it, guys. This is your updated food, not pyramid, but plate. And the basic principles are: eat your veggies first, fill your plate every single meal with 2/3 of veggies, non-starchy vegetables. Then add your protein that will give you 20-30 grams of protein. I would recommend 30, but again, from plants, sometimes it's hard to get that, but not no less than 20 per meal. Again, Google everything, how much of food that you're about to eat. That's gonna give you, and also guys, get some food scales. They're really cheap and will help you to kind of really understand how much food you need to get all the nutrition in. So 2/3 of your plate is vegetables, then 30 grams of protein or 20 grams, somewhere in that range, no less than 20 healthy fats, a little bit, 1/4 of avocado per meal if you're gonna have it every meal, 10 nuts, 1-2 tablespoons of healthy fats or olives or healthy fats from avocado, from olive oil, from olives, then a little bit of starch and fruit, like a handful, maybe, one potato, maybe one piece of fruit. If that meal is after workout and you do a lot of workouts, then double the amount of protein. So that's going to be around 50-60 grams of protein for your after workout meal. Then drink water before every meal, half a liter, drink water in the morning. And that's your basic guidelines for healthy eating for your plate. If you have any questions, guys, if you have any questions about the amounts, the foods, anything when it comes to your food, for your plate of healthy food for every day, don't hesitate to send me email to Angela@createyourself.today, Angela@createyourself.today. And probably I also want to tell you that if you want to lose fat, if you want to get leaner, then try to really cut down on your starch and on your fruit, load up on vegetables, maybe eat a little bit more proteins, also added fats, count those, because fats are really dense source of calories, so you want to make sure that you're consuming healthy amount of it, and usually you get all you need from your whole fatty foods. Don't forget to eat your fatty fish and your eggs, and those are the best sources of omega-3 fatty acids that your brain and body absolutely need. So try to get most of your fats from whole foods. Go easy on starch, go easy on fruits, try to only eat it after workout when you're trying to get leaner and trying to lose fat. If you're trying to build muscle mass, then maybe add a little bit of fat, maybe add a little bit of whole foods, starch, and a little bit more calories, and of course a little bit more protein, because you need your building blocks to build those muscles. But to recap, this is the basic guidelines, guys, to start your healthy eating. And if you do that for 29 days till New Year, you're going to see some amazing results. And again, most of the foods, or 100% of your foods, if you can do it, and you can do it if you really commit to it, should be unprocessed or minimally processed. Minimally processed means, like, instead of, whole almonds, you're going to get grated almonds, or instead of instead of whole fish, you're gonna have fish pate. This is like minimally processed, minimal processing of your food. So organic, local, as fresh as possible, and your plate should be filled, 2/3 of your plate should be filled with non-starchy vegetables. Every single meal you get at least 20 to 30%. I highly recommend to shoot for 30 grams of protein, or 1/4 of your plate, and then the last 1/4 of your plate fill with some healthy fats, with some starch, and maybe a piece of fruit. And that's it, guys. It's not that complicated or difficult. It's actually pretty easy. Just make sure to cover your plate with vegetables, have amount of protein that you need per meal, and then a little bit of starch, a little bit of fats. Make sure that a little bit, that is the really important part of it. Eat slowly till 80% full, and you're going to be good to go. Again, if you have any questions, always feel free to reach out, or feel free to schedule your quick and fast Q&A call on Skype. You can follow the link to do that in the show notes. And that's it for today. For this week, we will talk about some next few days, we'll talk about some examples, actual examples of breakfast, lunches, and dinners. We will also talk about the very important part of healthy lifestyle, habit building, and how you can build your habits to stick with the behaviors that you need to stick with to reach your goals. So stay tuned and eat your food according to this guide at least every day of this week and see what happens. So thank you again for tuning in. Until next time, guys, eat better daily.